Thank you so much. Can we give Kanan a round of applause for that very generous? I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I mean, truth is, I'm relieved when I pass through security and arrive anywhere I travel. But even aside from that, I was so moved to get that email inviting me to give the commencement address at my old high school. Class of 2018, you did it. You endured endless exams, homework, moving your car every 2 hours to be here today. You must be very proud. At this momentous occasion, I want to share with you one big idea. One big idea that has helped me overcome fear and accomplish some of my biggest dreams. This idea, I hope this lesson is helpful to you as you start your new act in this play called life. Are you ready for it? Here it is. It's the simple shift in perspective from asking yourself, what do I want to get, to what would I like to give? Here's what I mean. Now, I give speeches for a living, but I have to admit, I have to be honest with you, I agonized over this one. For one thing, it's my first commencement address, and at my own school. What do I say at this venue on this occasion? An occasion that is so important to all of you, and of incredible personal importance to me. How do I impart sagely wisdom and change all of your lives forever in 8 minutes? Every time I came up with an idea, it never felt clever enough, cool enough, impressive enough. So to try to get over my writer's block, I thought, when is the last time I felt this nervous about giving a talk? And I remembered how I felt before giving my TED Talk. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar, getting invited to give a TED Talk on the main stage is on many people's bucket lists. It certainly was on mine. You join Nobel Prize-winning scientists, celebrities, and best-selling authors on stage to share ideas worth spreading. Naturally, I felt completely unqualified. You stand on this big red circle on a stage by yourself under a spotlight, speaking to a room full of important, famous people. I actually saw Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford in the audience when I was giving my talk. Then your talk is put online for millions of people to see, so no pressure. And as if that weren't enough, the stakes for me were so high because I was asked to talk about representing others who weren't being given the same privileged platform. I was asked to speak about being an American of the Islamic faith in 2016 during a campaign season where my community, along with many other communities, were being scapegoated and demonized in unprecedented ways. I was using my personal story to give other people a voice, and the weight of that responsibility felt almost crippling. And so I was absolutely terrified. I wrote and rewrote my speech right up to when I was on the plane flying from DC to Vancouver. I agonized over every word. I practiced and rehearsed and cried and rehearsed. I pretty much bombed the dress rehearsal. Now, that's just a figure of speech for anyone who is getting nervous. That just means I did really bad. And so I I spent the night before, after the dress rehearsal, practicing endlessly. And finally, there was no more time to prepare. The day had come, and I was sitting in the auditorium at my session, watching the speakers who were going before me, observing the audience. There was a room, much like this one, full of CEOs and movie stars. How could I possibly impress them? What was I even doing there? So sitting there, waiting for my name to be called, I recited a prayer from the Quran that I always say before speaking. It is believed to be what Moses said before he met Pharaoh and his magicians. Another pretty intimidating audience. And the prayer goes something like this. My Lord, expand my breath, ease my affairs, untie my tongue, so they may understand my words. It then hit me as I said this familiar prayer. Moses didn't pray for eloquence. He didn't pray to impress anybody. He simply prayed to be understood. He was concerned about giving his audience the gift of truth in a way they could receive it, not taking from them admiration or being a celebrity. And that is how he was able to address the most powerful man in Egypt, possibly the entire world at the time. I wasn't there to get my audience's admiration. I wasn't there to take from them. I wasn't there to impress them. I was there to give them the gift of a new idea. If my goal was there to get their approval or acceptance, I would not have been able to take the stage. I would have literally been frozen. But when I changed my mindset, I was able to share my story. Now, I won't claim that all my anxiety went away, because it didn't. But it did become manageable. I actually started to feel excited about what I could share. So they introduced my name, and with my heart beating a mile a minute, I took the stage and began to speak. If you watch the video, you can hear the trembling in my voice as I began. But I got stronger as I went on. And then, to my amazement, they began to clap as I built my argument. And finally, at the end, this auditorium of unbelievably accomplished people gave me a standing ovation. 2 years later, I still get letters from people who've seen my talk that's been viewed more than 2.5 million times, including the one that invited me to give this address today after seeing this same TED Talk. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't changed the question I asked myself. From what do I want to get to what do I have to give? This change in perspective will transform how you see the world. It will transform your relationships. It will transform your work. Have you ever felt afraid before giving someone a gift? Probably not so much. Most of us are really excited when we're about to give someone a present that we picked out that we think is amazing. But have you ever felt scared when you're asking for something? Have you ever felt afraid of rejection? Afraid of not being impressive enough? Fear of rejection can hold us back from some of our greatest accomplishments. Our focus from what we want to get to what we have to give makes us courageous. So as you celebrate your high school graduation by crossing the stage, know that you are the main protagonist on the stage of your life. You decide what questions to pose and what perspective to take. Instead of asking what you want to get, ask yourself, what gift do I want to give to the world? Your audience is waiting. Thank you.